Our state's vaccination plan got an upgrade earlier today with the rollout of a new site that allows you to reserve a spot in line for a shot. Thanks for joining us for Fox 4 News at 10 on this Friday evening. I'm Jane Monreal. Patrick Nolan's off tonight. It is an update that had some of the most vulnerable in our community feeling hopeful until they learned that despite qualifying for the vaccine right now and using the site, they are still going to have to wait. Fox 4's Rochelle Aline's been reporting this vaccine exception group for days now. She has an update.
We're still waiting to hear back from the governor's office to get some guidance on this issue. But as we wait, it's time that one Naples woman says some in our community can't afford to lose. After more than 20 years of marital bliss, Krista Starace says she and her husband Mike know a thing or two about loving in sickness and in health.
I had known for quite a few years I needed a kidney transplant.
And in July of 2019, her husband came through.
I was then lucky enough to have my husband be tested, and he was a match, which is not that common.
She says recovery was difficult, but she was getting through it the best she could. And then March 2020 hit.
I was about 8 months post-transplant, and our world was shaking.
And since the pandemic started, her entire family has been in quarantine to protect her and her husband.
When you're an organ transplant recipient, you are immune suppressed, similar to how chemo would be for a cancer patient, but we are suppressed with our T cells and our B cells because the body cannot recognize that new foreign kidney.
Should she get COVID-19 and survive, Starace says she'd still be facing some major health issues.
I might not die from COVID, but I'm going to lose this transplant that my husband, selflessly donated to me. And then I'll be on dialysis.
She, like so many others in her shoes, qualifies for a vaccine under an executive order from the governor. And yet, whether they try to sign up at a nearby Publix or even on the state's new vaccine pre-registration site, they're being told to wait.
And it does list that we could get this vaccine if you're compromised with an organ transplant and other issues, which I have several other issues.
And to add insult to injury, Starace says she's had to watch as friends in her home state of New Jersey got their shots.
And then I had a couple of friends call who maybe had high blood pressure, or maybe they were defined with obesity, and they were under the age of 40, and they were also received the vaccine.
So she's now writing to state leaders and asking for help.
I'm all for vaccinating seniors and people over 65 because the statistics do show that they are high risk. But if they look at the data and statistics for organ transplant recipients, we're 20% more likely to die from COVID than somebody at the age of 75.
And as she waits, she says she'll continue to speak up for herself and others just like her.
There are tons of young people, not only organ transplant recipients, but dialysis patients. Also, kidney donors now are at risk because they only have one kidney and might have other issues, underlying issues. So I thought it was important to speak out for other people.
Earlier today, I was able to speak to an aide with State Representative Mike Gialombardo's office. She did tell me that hospitals should be giving out vaccines to these exception groups, but she said the reason they may not be doing that is because they've either run out or they're saving those vaccines for second dose shots for others in our community. In Cape Coral, Rochelle Aline, Fox 4.